Oh, yeah. Fish on. Yeah. Oh, my God. Good night. Look at that tank. That's a toad, brother. Golly.
All right, welcome everybody. It is the first inaugural event of the 2023 season, and that is the kickoff, the Invitational, down there in Polk County, Florida. And they have just wrapped up all the finalization of the scoring and got everything finished and ready to rock and roll. I am just waiting to get the signal. Right now, they're setting up the camera and getting everything ready to go live. They're going to run through the entire weekend's events. Chad is giving some announcements right now. So let us know what is going on. Where are you watching from? Over in the comments, give it a like, a share, and tell us where you're watching from. So that way we can see who's all paying attention to what we got going on in the KBF. There was a lot, and I mean a lot, of big monster fish that was caught down here in Polk County this weekend. At least the top 10. There was only one person outside of the top 10 that did not catch a 20-inch or over bass in their bag, if not 2 or 3. So there was a lot of big fish caught this weekend. It was really exciting, and they are ready to rock and roll. So here we go. Chad, how you doing, sir?
Man, I am good. It just got hot in Florida, and I'm wearing black and breeches, and probably going to sweat a little bit. But, man, I heard you talking about it before we went live, but holy crap. Dude, y'all give yourself a round of applause for putting some donkeys on the board. Raise your hand if you caught your personal best while you're here. Anybody catch their personal best? There's at least one. I know of a couple more that caught them that might not be here, but they caught one big fish and weren't able to put together that 10 fish or 5 fish limit that they needed. So, guys, we're going to jump right into the Trail 1 Saturday top 10 and just roll with it. In 10th place with 89.25 inches, former qualifier for the KBF DZ or DZ KBF the 10 through the 10 Invitational here, Mr. Alan Sweat. I mean, you were there. You're. Oh, what's up, man? Congrats. Right. There you go, brother. The floor is yours.
All right. Yeah. So it's been a good week. Didn't work out today like I thought. I mean, it was, I had an area. I thought some more females would move in this afternoon, and just absolutely, it got sunny and warm, and it looked awesome, and they weren't there. So, I just sort of ground it out. I see a lot of guys running and gunning, and I mean, I'm a Florida guy, so I take an area and just pick it apart. But that's basically what I do. So that's what I enjoy. But yeah, I just want to thank, Camp Mack for hosting this, and, Kissimmee area. And this has just been awesome. My wife for letting me away for, a few days to do this and all that kind of good stuff. So thank you, Chad.
You want to talk about what you caught them on, or
yeah. So you basically caught most of them on Cinco, a couple on chatterbait, a 20-incher yesterday on chatterbait. But yeah, I was basically just fishing spawning and, pre-spawn type fish just on, with the Cinco.
Okay.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Right. Yep.
Alan Sweat. In 9th place with 91 inches, Mr. Garrett Wade. Garrett, there you go, man. The floor is yours.
9th place, that'll work. So I found some fish on Thursday afternoon. I found this little pocket and threw a jackhammer in there, and something boiled on it. I set the hook and I was like, what the crap is that? It was a bowl about this big. Ended up catching a couple more around this pocket, and it stayed in the back of my mind through Friday. And I decided to go back in there Saturday morning, and first fish was 22.5. And then I caught a 18 and a couple of 16s in there, and ended up breaking off a couple of fish by the end of the day. But overall, I'm happy with it. 91 inches isn't bad. So I want to thank my wife for letting me be here, and Dakota Lithium for putting us up in the house, powering all our kayaks.
Oh, man. Congrats, brother. Thanks, Chad. All right. In 8th place with 91.75 inches, Mr. Robert Weicker. So while Robert is making his way up here, I'll tell you the story about him texting me going, dude, I just caught a giant. And so, well, he's here now, so I'll let him tell you about it.
Well, I wasn't wanting to come to this tournament. Had no intentions on it. Dustin Hoy talked me into it. Grabbed a plane 3 days before they left. Flew down here with nothing, no gear, no kayak. I had a couple tackle boxes, borrowed rods from Drew, and caught a 24 and a quarter, somewhere close to 10-pounder in practice. So had to be that guy to hook a big one in practice. And I had him on. I looked at Dustin. I said, "There's a bite. I might as well hook it. I'm in Florida." Well, it was 10, so that's why you hook them in practice when you're living in Ohio. And then practice was all right. I mean, we didn't really catch a lot of fish. Found a bunch of them flipping mats, and I just figured I was just going to go out there and flip every single mat I could find. I don't know. I'll be seeing lily pads for the next 10 years. But you just throw in a black and blue crawl and flip till I couldn't flip anymore. That's about it.
Cool. Congratulations, man. All right, guys. In 7th place with 92.5 inches, Mr. Joshua Sharp. So, Josh, you were flirting with that leaderboard on the Invitational. Looked like you were going to do it again, man.
I know,
So
I was
talk to us about what happened.
I was going for it. I got down here later than I planned. Got down here Wednesday night, so all I did was really fish Thursday. Checked out the spot I fished in the past 2 years. I've always done good at. Luckily, the fish were there. I only fished about 10 minutes, caught 2, and left it alone. And Friday just kind of prepped for the weekend. But everything Saturday came off a black and blue chatterbait, and then my bite kind of died after 11. That's about it.
Sweet. Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Man. Likewise, brother. All right, in 6th place with 92 3/4 inches, Mr. Caleb Cunningham. So Caleb was one of the people that raised his hand when I asked if he caught his personal best. So make sure you tell the folks about how you caught that one. Did you catch that one in the tournament or just while
I
you were
caught
down
it.
here?
Yeah, I caught it in the tournament. I caught it on a 1/2 ounce Strike King Thunder Cricket. Threw in there the first time, and he actually came out and hit the kayak, and then I was like, "Oh man, that was a beast!" And I threw it back in there, and I don't know how, but somehow I got him. I didn't even use the net. I was like struggling. They dropped my net in the water, and I just like reached down there and picked him up. But yeah, I had a good time, dude. I feel like I fished pretty much every pad I could with the chatterbait till I couldn't do it no more, and then it paid off. So
Cool.
yeah.
You want to thank anybody?
I guess my family and friends,
Oh,
and
that's good enough.
Jay Sharp for showing me some stuff, I guess. So
Well, congratulations.
appreciate it, man.
Caleb Cunningham in 5th place with 96 inches, Mr. Glenn Landstrom.
I don't know where to begin. There's so many fish in South Florida. I grew up down here, so I kind of had a little bit of an idea what to do. Just got to punching with the cold fronts moving in, and I did kind of what I call power punching. I'd let the bait hit the bottom, and if it wasn't running or getting bumped, I'd pick it up. Just constantly, probably punched 8,000 times a day. But that's about it, man. Standing on my seat, just punching. But I definitely, like everybody, the other guys, want to thank my wife for putting up with my passion, and thank Motor Guide, Miller Tech Lithium, and Yola Tech, and there's a whole bunch more. But
All right, man. Well, thank them all, brother. Thank them all.
and well, I might get to come back.
You're coming back over here.
So that's good.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. Thanks,
Glenn
guys.
Landstrom. It's almost crazy to say 96 1/4 inches for 4th place, but with 96 1/4 inches in 4th place, Mr. Nathaniel Holly.
Yeah, so yesterday was a complete blast. My main staples were jackhammer and speedworm, your typical Florida baits this time of year. I will say, red bug seems to be the color they liked. So if you guys are looking for a new color to try out red bug. But yeah, yesterday was great. I was guarding a spot. I went around in circles maybe 10 or 12 times on this one spot and kept catching fish all day. So my hand was pretty tore up today, so that kind of like slowed me down a little bit today. But but yeah, I'd like to thank my wife. She's back there. For putting up with my absolute obsession with bass fishing and kayak bass fishing in particular. And then also just, thank my family. They're up in Northwest Florida. They were watching and cheering me on from up there. So appreciate that. And shout out the Florida Kayak Bass Trail for being such a great group of guys and being very supportive. So if you guys are moving to Florida, you want a good bass group to get with, Florida Kayak Bass Trail is your ticket.
All right, Nathaniel Holly, guys. In third place with 96.5 inches, Mr. Adam Patron. Somebody texted me earlier and said they couldn't believe you didn't have a tequila sponsorship, and I'd never even thought of that. So anyway,
Think about it. No, yesterday was a good day. I found 2 pockets. I kept reloading with fish throughout the day. Throwing a jackhammer and a worm in there. Made a last-minute decision to run to a random bank and start tracking a jackhammer along it. Caught a 1975 with 3 minutes left to spare. So that one put me up here. So shout out to Jackson Kayak, Dakota Lithium, Rogue, One Objective, Yak Attack. Appreciate all your support.
Cool. Adam Patron. Let me get 2 folks up here, Mr. Russ Snyders and Michael Lavoie. So we're going to do this the way we always do it. We're going to announce second place, let second place talk so that we don't always forget our first place talk second, because we always forget about second if we don't do it that way. In second place, again, 96 3/4 inches for second place. Insanity. Mr. Russ Snyders.
Yeah, it's been a good weekend out here. Yesterday, yes, good start. I got most of them on a spinnerbait, just kind of covering a lot of water. And then about midday, that spinnerbait bite died off, and I started changing things up. Tied on a jig and made a cast over near some of that, I guess it's arrowhead grass, something like that. I don't know, by a clump, and just let it sit there for a second, lift up, and saw my line moving, and set the hook and got that 24 and a half, which is my largest at least fish out of a kayak. So it's cool that it came in a tournament, and I weighed it was 9.85. So but I'm gonna get my scale checked because I think it was over 10. I don't know, but yeah, today was a little slower. Actually fished a different lake. Never really got things going too good, but it's still, decent limit. I got 87 inches. And like to thank Chad KBF, Camp Mack for hosting this event. Sponsors, Wilderness Systems, Dakota Lithium, Yak Attack, Torquedo, iRod, Music City Outdoors. I think that's all of them. Looking forward to the 10.
All right, sounds good, man. Congratulations. So your champion is this guy right here, Mr. Mike. Is it Lavoie?
Lavoie, yeah.
Lavoie. And he's going to take home the check and that piece of substantial hardware. If you guys noticed, the folks at Catch stepped up big time. I want to show this off real quick before So we stepped up the second and third place trophies. These things are freaking amazing, but they're actually made out of measuring boards. So the standard of measure is also the standard of recognition for kayak fishing now. And that big one is actually 4-sided measuring board. So Mike, the floor is yours, man.
Came down here from Northern California. I have family that lives in Winter Haven. It's my mom's birthday, so we kind of make it a family thing. Day one of practice, I went to Arbuckle and was hoping to fish beds, but the water was so dirty that I couldn't see anything really. And so the wind was kicking up and I just went deep and I found the deepest grass I could. Second cast on a chatterbait, I hooked up with a giant and she came off, and she was probably the biggest fish that I hooked up with since I've been here. So I kind of knew what I wanted to do. Day one, I went out. I found that deep grass. I just stayed out there and I pounded it between a chatterbait, a swim bait, and a punch rig. I just caught fish. It was a great day. It was special.
Anybody want to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Lawrence, Bobby D's Baits, Red One System, Daiwa, Luz, AFCO. That's about it. And my wife, obviously. And happy birthday, Mom.
All right, Michael LaVoy.
Thanks, sir.
Congratulations, brother. Yeah, man. All right, like I said, if you guys are in Trail 1 and you cut a check, wait to the end so we can get you up here and Austin can get your photo. So we're going to roll right into the Sunday trail event, Trail Series 2, in 10th place with 89.5 inches, Mr. Robert Weicker. The floor is yours again, my friend.
Thank you. We already heard the spiel, so I didn't thank any sponsors last time up here, so good thing I get 2 of them. I got to thank Crescent Kayaks, even though I fished out of a borrowed kayak. 13 fishing. Drew brought me a couple rods, and because I didn't have borrowed everything else. And my boss, Kyle, because he had his kayak at Dustin's house, I borrowed it, borrowed everything else. So everybody let me borrow stuff. Thanks. So
are you splitting the money with him?
I told Kyle he gets 1% in dinner.
Okay.
So, and obviously thank my wife. She's at home with the kids. She made a trip down Tennessee, drug them down there and back like she does every time we hit the road to keep herself occupied. So that's it. Thanks for everything else.
Congrats. Robert Weicker, guys. In 9th place with 90. Hold on a second. Yeah, 9th place with 91 inches, Mr. Glenn Landstrom.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Like Robert said, you guys have already heard the spiel. Just punching, running, and I really didn't do any running, gunning. I fished about 800-yard section, just back and forth, in and out to about 6 foot of water to 3 foot of water all day. That's back and forth. You should see my maps. But that's about it.
Cool.
So, and I caught my PB in a tournament today, a little over 10 pound, 24 incher. First time I ever put a double digit on the board for a tournament.
So that's 7 or 8 that I know of, and 3 or 4 of them have come actually in the tournament. So that's why you come to Polk County in late January, early February, because there's donkeys here. All right, man.
Good fish.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. In 8th place with 91.25 inches, Mr. Chris Spencer.
Awesome. Thank you. Yesterday wasn't so good. I hit one lake and struggled on it a little bit and decided last minute that I was going to jump over to a backup plan, and it ended up paying off today. And part of the reason we come out and do this isn't just to compete, but it's to have fun. And all I can say is today was an absolute blast. Caught quite a few fish, lost many more, had a lot of fun, sunburnt. At least the weather was good today. And yeah, it was great. A lot of the same black and blue Senko and black and blue punch rig did the trick. So that's it. Shout out to Yak Rods. They make some awesome rods. If you guys like throwing chatterbaits, make sure you check out their X Chatter. It's actually pretty sweet. And got to thank the wife and the family and the friends and everyone back home that's given me support to get here. And I appreciate it. Thanks.
Cool. Congrats, man. In 7th place with 92.5 inches, Mr. Chris Hartman. Thank you, sir. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, actually, today ended up being, as people have already said, an awesome day. Yesterday, I didn't catch a keeper fish, until noon, and then I caught 3 in like next 10 minutes. So I figured something out. It was on a backside of an island, or the away from the wind side of an island, and I was just like, okay, I got to 76 inches or something yesterday, but again, didn't know what I was going to do last night. I was thinking, well, I'm going to go back there because I know that lake. I know what I want to do. And all I did was the same thing, just the wind was from a different direction today. So I fished the other side of the island, and I only fished maybe every one of my fish today came in about a 70-yard 75-yard stretch of just on the outside of the grass. Got into a 23-incher. I don't think my scale's right because it said it was 5.5 pounds. So it was definitely bigger than that. But yeah, it was an awesome day. I want to thank Old Town, H24 Outdoors, Southern Punch, Tungsten, and Pro Guide Lithium, and my family. It was Florida's an awesome place. It's the first time I've ever fished in Florida, so it's a good, feeling good today. So
Congrats, man.
all right.
All right. In sixth place with 93 inches, Mr. Lloyd Hardy. You look like you were surprised about that.
I was.
Get in there, man.
All right. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it.
You caught him.
All right. So a lot of people don't know, but I'm from here, Lake Wales.
Okay.
So local guy. Been putting on these lakes here for some time, and I think I probably only caught maybe about 20 fish all weekend. So, but most of them came off of rattle trap, the 6 cents Duke 65 rattle trap, and had a good time. And that's it.
Want to thank anybody?
My wife for letting me come out and do all this stuff.
Good enough.
Yeah, I thank all my sponsors, but I don't have any.
All right. I think you just did. All right. Congratulations, man. Appreciate it. In fifth place with 93 inches, Mr. Joshua Sharp. There you go, sir.
All right. Today started off pretty slow. I had one fish at around 9 o'clock and until 12, at least at 12 my bite picked up, started flipping, just kind of power pulled down on some pads I knew had fish in them and ended up catching a limit between 12 and 3 and calling at 258 at the last second with the 18-incher. So turned out pretty good. I can't complain. And I'd like to thank Mack for letting us stay here and friends and family, of course.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, congrats. In fourth place, 93 3/4 inches, Mr. Jason Isaacs. There you go, sir.
So the pre-fishing was terrible all week. I think I caught the biggest fish was maybe a 16. And that's what I went with. I wasn't planning on trying to flip yesterday and decided to with like the wrong gear and lost a lot of big fish. So I decided to go back and do that today, and it worked out pretty good. I lost a lot of big fish both days, but that's the way it goes. I want to thank my dad, Tim Isaacs, Jody Queen, and Casey Reed for being in the house with me, Dakota Lithium, Chad, and KBF. This is a great event. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. In third place with 93 3/4 inches, Mr. Bobby Dennison.
Yesterday was a grind, to say the least. Definitely what I was doing wasn't working, so pulled a 180, caught an audible, went to a lake I've never seen before, went to a ramp I've never seen before, and just went fishing today and stumbled upon them. Ended up catching my biggest one this morning. First thing, 24 3/4. That was just on a swimming worm. And that was good. There was no need for coffee this morning. That was a good wake-up call. So I want to thank the wife and kids for supporting me and letting me come enjoy myself. Everybody home. That's it.
All right, let me get Josh Stewart and Mike Elsey up to the front, please. And Bobby Dennison, come up here and grab your third place trophy. You third? Yeah, you're third. Okay, sorry. Gotcha. All right. In second place, 95 3/4 inches, Mr. Josh Stewart.
Basically, yesterday I had a terrible day and figured something out towards the end of the day yesterday and expanded on that today. And hopefully I can keep expanding on that for the next 3 days. But it's like to thank Jackson Kayak, Dakota Lithium, Yak Attack, Dugout Bait and Tackle, and most importantly, my wife back home, Lauren.
So, your champion. Your champion for trail number 2, Sunday, Polk County, Florida, with 96 1/4 inches, Mr. Mike Elsey. But before I turn the floor over to Mike, I'm going to tell you guys about what happened right at the end of the day. So Mike submits his last fish, and immediately we get challenges. So we go in and we look at the catch data. We start looking at the photos, and it looks like it's a similar fish, right? What happens is when people start looking for similarities, you find what you're looking for, okay? We take those photos and we basically make one translucent, lay it over the other. It's like comparing fingerprints. And if it's still close, we say, hey, Mike, why don't you come see me at the judge's booth? So Mike comes over, whips out his phone, and goes, it's not. I said, dude, I think we might have the same fish. Now, I already knew the answer, but I wanted to see what Mike said. Mike said, oh, no, dude, look, breaks out his phone. He's like, I got photos, I got videos, I got video releases. He pulls the video release out. He swipes up at the swipe time, the capture time, the whole thing of one video. The fish were caught way apart, the whole 9. That is how you do it as a professional, and that is why we implement the whole CYA. You guys heard my captain's meeting with the whole video thing. Not that it was the only thing that saved him, but it's one of those things where if it's in question, get that video release, because that video release leaves no question. So, Mike, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you very much. Man, before I get into the fishing, I want to first start with the whole video release thing. Y'all, if you're not doing that, you need to, because I mean, not only am I standing here with this trophy because of it, but it's just the right thing to do. It's a good thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And for those of you watching, get in the habit of doing that, because it takes all the question out of it. So there you go. Another thing for the video release. Please do that. Now for the fishing, wow. I don't even really know where to begin. Yesterday was a grind, man. I caught a limit by 10 o'clock yesterday, I think. Yeah, 10. And then the bite just completely died. I never had another bite the rest of the day. And so going into today, I was even when I woke up this morning, I pretty much had my mindset that I was not going to go back to the same lake, but I ended up going back to the same lake and doing the same thing, fishing the same water, and they just bit better. The bigger ones bit better today. I was mostly flipping reeds and cattails and pads, using the Cinco, Bizbaits, sassy stick, and also a Why Not, which is basically just a creature bait. I can't even remember the company who makes it. Sorry. Gambler. Yes, Gambler. Sorry, Gambler.
Right down the road.
Sorry, Gambler. Anyway, had a tank today at 22.5 inches. It was pretty crazy. I had 2 little weeds, 2 sticks. I mean, literally the size of my finger, that I pulled an 18 1/4, a 19.5, and that 22.5 off of. 2 sticks. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But she was as fat as she was long, I think. I don't know if she weighed 10 pounds or not, but she was sure heavy. But anyway, it was a great time. Thanks for KBF and for putting this event on. Thank you, Camp Mack, for hosting us as well. Definitely want to give a shout out to all my support team, Yak Attack, Rogue Fishing, Native Watercraft, Bizbaits, Fishing Online, Shred Fin Apparel. Yeah, I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff. Fitzgerald Rods, definitely got to give a big shout out to Fitzgerald Rods. They're the ones that put the fish in the boat for me this week. I really didn't lose any. I lost a couple, but nothing that hurt me too bad. So again, just thinking about, I already said Shred Fin. I said Yak Attack first.
Oh, did you?
Okay. Come on. All right. Anyway, thank you all. Yeah. Thanks again, everyone. And yeah.
All right,
Looking forward to the next
congratulations, man. Mike Elsey. So, a lot of hardcore anglers love the 2-day format. So we do this thing called the Dakota Lithium Double Up, where we basically let you buy in for a separate entry fee. It's $100, pays out a guaranteed $6,000 in payouts, and we pay out the top 5. And so it's also the flip side of that. The reason we do the 2-day trail format is situations like what Josh Stewart experienced. You have a bad day 1, you come back in with a clean slate for day 2, and it allows you to get 2 Angler of the Year events under your belt at each location. So if you can't travel all over the country and you can't travel full time and you want to make a run at doing this thing either for a living or kind of like pro recreational, then that combined format really works out well. But at this event, the kickoff event every year, we invite folks that finished in the top 10% of any event the previous year, whether that's a Trail Series event, championship, the Challenge Series, for an event we call the Tinvitational. So the Tinvitational is how you win your way into the 10. So I need to get Russ Snyder's, Joshua Sharp, and Mr. Glenn Landstrom up to the front. So while they're walking up here, I'm going to go ahead and talk about third place with 183 3/4 inches combined, Mr. Russ Snyder's. There you go.
I don't know what to really say to expand on what I already talked about, but I say, yeah, I'm really excited to get things going for the 10. Got a little bit of a decision as far as what lake to go. I fished 2 different lakes both days, but yeah, I guess that's a good problem to have. So I'll get things started and hopefully it goes well.
Congrats. Another thing that we run in conjunction with that is we run the Dakota Lithium Big Bass. So we pay $500, $300, and $200 each day for the biggest bass. Russ also took home the day 1 big bass with 24.5 inches. On day 1 for second place was Michael Lavoie with a 23 3/4 and Garrett Wade with a 22.5. And those guys will take home $500, $300, and $200 respectively. So congrats on that as well. All right. In second place with 185.5 inches, a former Tinvitational champion, Mr. Josh Sharp.
Congrats, man. All right. Coming out here, I didn't think I was going to get this close to, go back to the tin house until I looked at the end. And so I needed one 19-inch fish to get there. I think I caught like an 18-incher, and I knew he had it when I came up here, but I'm happy to be up here. Thanks, guys.
All right, congratulations. So before we get into awarding some hardware, come on up here. Mr. Glenn Landstrom is your 2023 Tinvitational champion. He's also taken home first place in the champion of the Dakota Lithium Double Up. So that's going to be another $2,000 payout. So you can go ahead and hold on to that one. But the one you're probably the most interested in is this one right here, which is the 2023 Tinvitational champion. And for those of you that are watching that don't know, and for those of you that are watching that maybe do know, this is probably the hardest way to get in the 10. Or at least, I'm sorry, let me say this again. It's one of the hardest ways. The folks that work their way into the 10 grind all year, and it is stressful, and it's truly a grind. But then when you consider that you also got to beat those guys here in the same place that you're going to fish for the 10, it just adds a special little element to it. So we also make a pretty good sized trophy for that one right there. And before we hand this off to Glenn, I got to thank the folks at Catch again for making these amazing, like, work of art trophies. When we say hardware at KBF, it's like hardware. This thing is 21 or 22 pounds. So Glenn, there's your hardware. But more importantly, welcome to the DZ KBF to 10. Oh my
God. This is what an honor to be standing up here with some of these guys. These names, Mike and Russ and all of them, I'm blown away. I didn't think I'd be here. I just texted my wife and said, I'm coming home. I said, there's no way I'm making it in. Dang.
Well, you got to text her back now.
I know. I was texting my customer. So I own a small home remodeling company, and let me put this down. It's heavier than that bass I caught today. And I told the customer, I said, listen, I'm not coming tomorrow morning. I said, I'm pretty sure I cashed a check, and I'm not driving 14 and a half hours home tonight, to be to work tomorrow. So I did send him another text that said, by the way, there's some crazy long shot that I might make it into the 10 house. I said, I'm not coming back, and I'm going to have to totally reschedule. So my customer's going to be pissed. I'm sorry. But
you want to give him a shout out for being reasonable right here on the live?
Yeah, Ryan Taylor. It's my wife's boss, actually, at Memorial Hospital. So she's in trouble. But, man, babe, I'm sorry. I know you're watching.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan. And I'm not going to call her babe. Ryan and the wife, we'll refer to her that way. He's now going to walk over about 100 yards and check into his room and get his bag of goodies. And then he's going to pre-fish a little bit and recruit tomorrow, and then turn around and duke it out with 10 of the biggest, most ridiculously awesome anglers in the world. So it's kind of one of those things where you won the right to go fight like the baddest dude in the dudes in the world. You know what I mean? So you talked about, we got the emotion out of the way, but look at that camera right there. Step up a little bit. Now talk about the 10 itself. What do you feel about moving into that? Because you had some of these guys breathing down your neck the whole weekend. Now you got to turn right around and do it all over again.
It's going to be a lot of pressure. All I know is I'm just going to go out and try. I'm going to try to have fun, and with any luck, I'll catch another 10-pounder. And I don't see that happening. I think I beat the crap out of my 800 yards of shoreline. So I'm going to have to struggle to find something else to compete, because I know these guys have got something on the back burner that we're knowing they were fishing Tuesday and Wednesday, and I don't have that. So super long shot. I'm going off 10,000 to 1 if anybody wants to place a bet. But thanks to KBF for the opportunity. I'm blown away. Thanks to Polk County and Yeti and all these great sponsors, and my guys, K9 Fishing and Miller Tech Lithium Batteries. Motor Guide takes care of me every year, and there's a few more that I'll forget. But,
well, man, I'm going to thank everybody that we need to thank while you're standing here with me. I got to thank Dakota Lithium for powering this whole thing. Sure. Not only does Dakota Lithium step up and sponsor the tour, they also sponsor a lot of the anglers. So we are truly powered by Dakota Lithium, and so are a lot of these guys. Real Tree Fishing. Real Tree Fishing is not only the title sponsor of the KBF Trail Series, they help us by promoting it. They run my show on the Real Tree 365 app to help promote kayak fishing. They really get behind what we're doing, both financially, with gear, with assistance and other sponsorships and things like that. So big shout out to the folks at Real Tree. New sponsor coming on this year, Yak Rods. Been talking to those guys for a couple years. I've been hearing nothing but great things about them. Have several anglers on the circuit that fish them, that rave about them. Going to get with Derek Brundle in the next few days and put all of his through the paces. So I'm looking forward to using those things myself. Rogue Fishing. Rogue Fishing not only stepped up again this year as a sponsor. We're in Florida. It's airboats. Rogue Fishing not only stepped up as a sponsor, but they also stepped up. We'll give it a second. One thing you can count on in Florida is sunshine and airboats and alligators. But Rogue Fishing is also stepping up as the Angler of the Year and Rookie of the Year sponsor for 2023. You can't make this up. America! And then our longest standing sponsor from the beginning, Torquedo, they power all my adventures. There's a lot of folks that get where they're going. And if you ain't got one, you're already fishing for second, in my opinion. And then Yeti. Yeti has been really good to me over the years. From the time that I met some of the founders or the founders out on a flat fly fishing in Texas. And then Yak Attack for basically, like they say, helping us all make it yours. They support everything that we do. Not only are those guys like a great company, but they're all personal friends of mine. So big shout out to the folks at Yak Attack. And then Power Pole. I talk about this all the time. And I think all right. I think more people probably mentioned it this time of year than any other time, but a lot of folks were keying on the power pole, flipping and punching and doing stuff like that, especially the first day when we had like ridiculously high winds. And then last but not least, I cannot forget to thank the folks at Visit Central Florida. Visit Central Florida and Camp Mack were fabulous hosts. This is literally like being in a fishing heaven. You've got the boat ramp right over there. It's fishing culture. Everything is decorated fishing. Everything about it. So Camp Mack, the folks at Visit Central Florida, thank you guys so much. And that's going to do it. I'm going to kick these guys out of here, let them get back on the road. We're going to let Austin take some juicy pictures, and then we're going to do a little quick brief with the folks for the 10. So you guys be sure to follow along and see how old Glenn does now that he won the right to get beat down in the DZ KBF the 10 this Tuesday and Wednesday. You can follow live on Fishing Chaos. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all in the next one. Hey guys, I'm Chad Hoover with Kayak Bass Fishing. If you're looking to get in on the exciting sport of kayak fishing yourself, check out kayakbassfishing.com. Yeah. Boom! Oh, yes.
What a freaking toad.
So whether you want to find out more about competitive kayak fishing and kayak fishing tournaments or just looking to learn more to make yourself a better angler, head over to kayakbassfishing.com and join today.